Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Pumpkin Picks back with another MMA video. I haven't made a video for MMA in a bit, but let's get right into this. It is being reported that Alexander Volkanovski will be fighting Yair Rodriguez in the UFC Mexico card in September, and my immediate reaction to this is that this is so messed up what they are doing to Muslar Evloev or whatever you say. I can't pronounce his freaking names right, but I think that if the UFC don't want Evloev to be the UFC champ, they need Alexander Volkanovski to get rid of him. Alexander Volkanovski has the best style matchup for Evloev, and I think Yair Rodriguez is gonna knock out Alexander Volkanovski. This dude, look, as far as matchup style, I thought this before they were gonna fight, and Yair Rodriguez, his long rangy kicks, the way he can just snap those legs up super fast, I think that he can knock out Alexander Volkanovski pretty easily. And honestly, yeah, I don't mind Yair Rodriguez being the champ. I think he's a great fighter. Super entertaining fighter. He just came off a 2-fight losing streak. I think, dude, like, you can't get a title fight. You can't be 1-2 in your last 3 and expect a title fight. You just lost. You literally just lost against freaking Frankie Edgar. We saw what Diego Lopez did to, not Frankie Edgar, freaking Brian Ortega. We saw what what Diego Lopez did to Brian Ortega. And we saw that press conference. Like, put Evloev against Alexander Volkanovski in there for the title fight, and then put Diego Lopez against Yair Rodriguez as a co-main event. And there you go. Now you have your backup for the title fight, and you have 2 Mexican fan favorites, even though I know Diego Lopez isn't the Mexican fighter that everyone claims he is. He's Brazilian, but he still lives and trains out of Mexico. Like, there could still be a whole bunch of anticipation for this UFC Mexico title fight. But if you try to sell us this Yair Rodriguez versus Volkanovski fight, I just think, like, this is not what the fans want. I think this is because they probably have a good the main reason is because they want a Mexican title fight to be headlining UFC Mexico, but like we're still all gonna watch. We're still all gonna watch. I think a Mexican fighter being a title fight isn't gonna be this huge pay-per-view income that they expect. I mean, unless they're trying to compete against Canelo, which they probably are, but still, I think Yair Rodriguez versus Diego Lopez with the right type of promotion, they could pull numbers into this. Like, there's starting to become a good amount of UFC fighters with big names. You still have Alexa Grasso. I know she's coming out of a loss, but you can still make a good card. You still have that one other 45 or 55er that is I know he lost last UFC Noche UFC, but this could still be great. I don't think the UFC should depend on a title fight with Yair Rodriguez, because he doesn't deserve it. It should be Evloev versus Volkanovski, and the best thing about this is that we know, like, this is gonna be. I think Volkanovski beating Evloev would bring a lot more to his career, making Evloev the first, or giving him his first L, than beating Yair Rodriguez that has already lost like 6 or 7 times. Like, beating Yair Rodriguez, it's still good. It's not gonna add much more to his legacy. Beating Evloev is, because that dude's undefeated. He's a Dagestani or Russian fighter. He gets thrown into that crew, and he's gonna be handing someone else their O, which is one of the most legendary things you could do. Giving another fighter their O is up there. I mean, everyone immediately rates Murad because of what he did to Umar Nurmagomedov, handing him his first O, or handing him his first L, and the fact that Umar is a Dagestani. So I don't like that the UFC is doing this. But the other big news is that Arman Saryukiv, he announced, I'm 3 days late with this podcast, but he announced that he wants to fight in UFC 317. So he's hoping that he can still get the fight with Justin Gaethje in the UFC 317 undercard. And in that case, if one of the fighters fall out, then he or Justin Gaethje can step right in. I think that's a banger card. Honestly, if they are just relying on it either being Benil Dariush versus Renato Moicano, that could potentially be a huge L for the UFC, especially when you know Charles Oliveira, he has a record of pulling out last minute. So you can't be safe. You need to have Arman Saryukiv being in that fight, and I think it should be Justin Gaethje. Winner of that fight, they have to get the next title fight, and that's how you clear the division. This is the fight that I've been calling for a long time, and I think most of UFC fans think this makes sense. The division has to keep moving forward. There's kind of a jam in the top fighters, and I mean you still have Paddy the Baddy being right outside the cuffs of this. I'm assuming he's gonna be taking whoever beats or whoever wins. Or I guess not whoever wins, because Poirier is gonna be retiring. But ideally, they will want Max Holloway to win so that it could be Max Holloway versus Paddy the Baddy. I think that'll be another big fight. But that's way down the line. But moving back to this fight, Arman Saryukiv versus Justin Gaethje, UFC 317. This is the fight that we all want to see, all right? And yeah, the winner of that fight gets the winner of Charles versus Ilia Topuria, which I predict is going to be Ilia Topuria. Anyways, guys, tell me what you guys think about this video. If you guys agree with my takes, subscribe, like, and Pumpkin Picks out!